Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. Now, today I'm going to be talking about a very special show that I saw just a few days ago, and this was the only show that I saw in this winter period, and the only show that I'm going to be seeing until the end of May, June. And it was a really special one because, if you like modern metal, if you like metalcore, this lineup was just killer. It was just phenomenal because it was Loathe, Spiritbox, and Architects. Now, I'm not going to be mentioning Loathe a lot because, to be honest, I am not a big fan of their music. I have checked them out some months before the show. They have a sound that to me is very reminiscent of Deftones, but with a more genty approach to it. And Deftones have never been my cup of tea. So far, they haven't clicked with me. I saw this show, it was fine, but I don't have really anything super special to say about them. So I'm not gonna mention them that much in this video. But hopefully their music, I'm gonna give them another chance and another try because it happens sometimes that music just doesn't click straight away, and it does after like a few repeated listens, or maybe after a few months that have passed or something like that. So I will give them another try. But I'm going to mainly focus on Spiritbox and Architects. Now, Spiritbox is one of my favorite modern metal bands. At this point, they're one of my favorite bands ever. Ever since their debut album was released in 2021, Eternal Blue, I have been obsessed with them. I absolutely love them. I think that album is one of the greatest debut albums ever in history. And it's a landmark album for these last years of music. Yeah, they're a band who's doing some amazing things. They also released two other great EPs, like the Rotoscope EP in 2021 or 2022, and then last year the Fear of Fear, which was great. And the set list they played a few nights ago was had quite a few songs from the Fear of Fear, and I'm going to talk about that. Architects, on the other hand, is a band that I started listening to last year, and it took me a while to get into them because I started listening to them, but I started listening to the more popular tracks on Spotify, which were from the last two albums. Now, for those of you who don't know, Architects changed quite a bit their sound after their lead guitarist passed away tragically in 2016. Their sound now is a little bit more like electronic bass and a little bit more commercial, I feel. I'm not as much into that kind of sound compared to the earlier material from Architects. And I'm talking about stuff like All Our Gods Have Abandoned Us and Lost Together, Lost Forever, and Holy Hell, those albums. So it took me a little while to get into them because, I was listening to those tracks like Dead Butterflies and all these new tracks, and I wasn't convinced then. But then I went and heard All Our Gods Have Abandoned Us, and I was blown away. That album is fantastic. And ever since, I've been listening to them and loving their music. Yeah, so one thing I wanted to mention about Spiritbox is that they were incredibly professional because 36 hours before the show, they were in Los Angeles, where they were nominated for the Grammys for Best Metal Performance alongside Metallica, Slipknot, Ghost, and Disturbed. And unfortunately, they lost to Metallica. And yeah, that to me is something incredible. Each year, I feel like I don't really give two shits about the Grammys, but in the end, I find myself invested in them, and I feel disappointed because it seems like they always reward the big, huge bands, and compared to the bands that are actually moving the genre forward and are actually doing something that is important for the genre and inspired. Because, Metallica, sure, they deserved a Grammy, but 30 years ago, because the last record that really was game-changing for them and for the whole metal community was probably the Black Album. So, just Giving the Grammy to Metallica makes no sense to me. Yeah, I mean, the fact that Sleep Token wasn't even nominated is pretty baffling to me. I mean, they were the band of 2023 in terms of uniqueness, in terms of blending of sounds, in terms of pushing metal forward in a new direction by incorporating a lot of new styles. They were hugely acclaimed, both by the critics and by the fans. They sold out huge venues, and yet they weren't even nominated in the top 5. They preferred having Ghost, which had with an Iron Maiden cover instead of having Sleep Token, and that's to me very sad. And another thing that's really sad is that the Grammys seem to always give the awards to huge names, and instead of rewarding artists that are pushing boundaries and are doing something unique and special and inspired. I mean, giving the Grammys to Megadeth, Dream Theater, Metallica at this stage makes absolutely no sense to me. Yeah, and so every year I'm a little bit disappointed. I feel like I don't give a shit about the Grammys, but in the end, I find myself feeling, disappointed, because I hope every year that something will change, but in the end, nothing changes, and it's the same old thing. The Grammys go to Taylor Swift, and they go to um, Olivia Rodrigo and Metallica, always the same names. Now, I've been rambling about the Grammys for way too much, so let's get on with the show. And one thing I forgot to mention was the name of the venue, which was called Alcatraz, and it's in Milan, in the north of Italy, and it's a pretty big venue. It holds around 3,000 people. It was jam-packed with people, almost sold out. If it wasn't sold out, just really a few tickets remaining, but the venue was just packed. And right from the get-go, right from the band Loathe, people were really into it, and they were moshing and circle pitting, and every breakdown, people were like doing wall of deaths and stuff like that. So Loathe played around 30 minutes, then Spiritbox took the stage, and they played around 45 minutes, which isn't that much different to the time that they usually play as a headlining act. Because I saw them twice in Milan in 2023 and 2022, and they played as headliners, and they played around 1 hour and 5 minutes. So it wasn't that much different. This time they played 10 songs. Last time, in which they were headliners, they played 13 songs. So more or less the same. But I feel that they distributed their set list pretty well, because they picked some songs from Eternal Blue, some songs from Rotoscope, and some songs from Fear. And they opened up with Cellar Door, which was just such a blast in the face and has one of the most amazing breakdowns in modern metalcore. It's fantastic. They also played Jaded, which was, of course, the song that was nominated for a Grammy. They played Angel Eyes, and they played the amazing synthy and ethereal The Void, which is one of my favorite Spiritbox songs. Check it out. Walk in the water all night. Now, one thing that left me a little bit disappointed was the following. Spiritbox played their song Yellow Jacket from their debut album Eternal Blue. Awesome song. And in that song, on the album Eternal Blue, they had Sam Carter guesting in the song and playing the vocals of the chorus. So, of course, having a show with Architects and sharing the stage with Architects, I was expecting Sam to come on stage and do a duet with Courtney. And I've checked that they basically did this duet for almost every show in the tour. But in Milan, it didn't happen. So I don't know why. But anyway, I mean, the song is amazing. And vocal parts in the chorus were done by the bass player. Great song. Now, one thing I noticed during Spiritbox show was that Courtney didn't seem to be at the top of her game vocally. There was something that seemed to be a little bit wrong off with her. I saw Spiritbox twice before this show, and I know what an incredible vocalist she is, what an incredible powerhouse she is. And yeah, she wasn't up to that level. But I mean, I thought it was understandable since she just flew from Los Angeles. She was probably a little bit jet lagged. But yeah, I mean, I was right because towards the end of the show, she admitted that she wasn't feeling very well, but she thanked the crowd because despite this, the crowd gave so much love and so much energy, and that pushed her to give her best, even though she wasn't feeling 100%. And that being said, I mean, Courtney not at 100% is still better than probably 90% of vocalists in the metal scene. So yeah, that's just my take on it. And yeah, one of the closing tracks was Holy Roller, and man, what a powerhouse that song is. There was such a lot of moshing and crazy energy. It was great. Take my body instead. But let's talk about the headlining act, Architects, and they played an hour and 45 minutes, 18 songs, long set list, mainly centered on the last three albums, Holy Hell, Those That Wish to Exist, and the classic Symptoms of a Broken Spirit. And yeah, as I said, I prefer the early material, but that being said, they did play some songs from All Our Gods Have Abandoned Us. They played Nihilist and Death Wish, even from earlier albums like Daybreaker and Lost Together, Lost Forever. Yeah, they played the tracks These Colors Don't Run and Gravedigger. And yeah, they had a huge production. They had LED screens showing videos that tied in beautifully with the concepts of their songs. As you know, Architects are a band that are all about, well, not all about, but mostly about the environment and humans destroying it. And yeah, so there was, of course, a lot of that in the videos that were portrayed. And yeah, they also had confetti and cool lighting. And Sam Carter is, yeah, a really great frontman. I can tell that nowadays he is more keen in like singing rather than screaming. I mean, that's the impression I got from the first time seeing him live, because even hearing some earlier songs with a lot of harsh vocals, a lot of screaming, he always like dipped in a little bit of clean singing in those songs, as if it's now something he's more akin to. But anyway, I mean, they started the set list with Seeing Red, which is their new single. I don't know if it's gonna be part of a next album or something like that. And yeah, I mean, the show was killer. Sam was very interactive with the audience, and I have to say that balancing those old metalcore songs, that are straight ragers like Nihilist, with songs that are catchier, groovier, like Deep Fake or Black Lungs, actually provides a nice flow to the set. And and I found myself really enjoying some of the songs that I actually disregarded, or that I didn't particularly enjoy before the show. I'm talking about songs like, Deep Fake, or When We Were Young, or Little Wonder. Yeah, still, I don't think that the songwriting level of these songs is on par with um, the older material. But that being said, I have to give credit to Architects for like changing their sound and trying something new. And as I mentioned, these songs really work well live. But anyway, here's a little clip from the show. Yeah, so overall, like, this was a killer show. I wished that this was more of a co-headlining tour with Spiritbox and Architects on the same level, because yeah, Architects have a longer history, way longer history than Spiritbox, but Spiritbox have such huge numbers. If you compare their Spotify statistics, they have basically the same amount of monthly listeners. They had a few huge following. So I feel that this could have worked with like a co-headlining tour with Loathe supporting them. But what do I know? I'm sure that people who make up these tours really know where to place the bands and what they should do. So I'm not. This is just a minor complaint. It's just that I would have loved to see like Spiritbox playing like 20 minutes more or something like that. But just a minor complaint, and I'm so happy I'm gonna see these bands again at Fucking Open Air 2024. Architects are gonna be headlining the festival. I think we're going to be one of the headliners, so it's going to be so cool. And this brings us to the end of the video. Please tell me if you saw any of European dates with this lineup, or what do you think about Architects, Spiritbox, Loathe? Let me know if you were at the show in Milan by any chance. And remember to like and subscribe to the channel, because it would be very beneficial for, the channel that is very brand new. So, without further ado, see you in the next video.